It is week number 3 of the high school football season, and tonight, the Fighting Irish of Youngstown Ursuline make the trek up to Titletown to take on your Chardon Hilltoppers. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you as we get you set for this one. And folks, you want to talk about big games. This is about as big as it gets here in Chardon tonight. The stadium reopened tonight. New turf field, new scoreboard. It is huge. There's a big buzz in the community. We expect a lot of folks here tonight to check it out. But on the field, Chardon may be playing its toughest opponent of the year tonight in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. You're taking on, you mentioned, Ursuline is a favorite for D4 champion this year. So, big game tonight for the Hilltoppers. Try to take on a really good offense with really great skill players. They're big out there. They've got a great quarterback. It'll be a good challenge for Chardon tonight, but Matt, it's going to be the same as the first 2 weeks. Control the football. You keep that Ursuline offense, which has big play potential, off the field. The more you keep them off the field, the less opportunity they have to score, better off you're going to be. Pretty much the same game plan for the first 2 weeks, which the Hilltoppers have executed over the first 2 weeks of this season. Absolutely.
Ursuline coming into this one, putting up 112 combined points on the scoreboard in the first 2 weeks, so they can put up some numbers for certain. With that, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, it'll be the band kicking off pregame festivities here on GTV.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the 2021 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The Hilltopper Marching Band would like to give a big shout out to Amy Roediger, band uniform mom extraordinaire, and her crew for getting everyone successfully into uniforms for the first time in 2 years. Thank you very much, uniform moms. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for a special announcement. Last week, Ohio lost one of its own when 22-year-old Navy Fleet Marine Force Hospital Corpsman Max Soviak was killed by a suicide bomb blast at the Kabul airport in Afghanistan. Max was a native of Berlin Heights and a 2017 graduate of Milan Edison High School in north central Ohio. A multi-sport high school athlete who also played in the band, Max proudly served his country while deployed, and he died a hero working to save the lives of those seeking to escape imminent danger. At this time, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Chardon High School, and Ursuline High School ask you to join us in a moment of silence for the loss of Max Soviak, while also sending prayers and sympathies to his family and friends, and remembering the other soldiers and civilians who were killed or injured in last week's tragedy in Afghanistan. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem, followed by the Chardon High School alma mater. If you watch football on television, you've heard this high-powered and explosive theme song. Here's the NFL on Fox. All right, Hilltoppers, put your hands together for the Hey Song.
And here come the defending Division III state champion Chardon Hilltoppers. Nathaniel Salka carrying the pickaxe. TJ Altman with the American flag. And TJ going to get some double duty tonight. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Folks, welcome back home to Chardon Memorial. It has been a long time since the public at large has been in here, and boy, night and day difference. New field, new scoreboard. Looks great.
Yeah, the field is great. We were down there before the game, and we were commenting. No one's ever played on this field. You know, before the game, Coach Hewitt told us that they were on the field for the first time at 4. So it wasn't, the field wasn't, no one stepped on it. We were like, feel the bounce on this field tonight. So it's going to be awesome. It's great turf. And it's going to be fun to see the game played here tonight. And the new scoreboard is great. I mean, look at that graphic up there right now. So definitely great. And it's good the public is able to be here for this year.
Chardon Crazies back in the stands. Been the first time that they've seen a game live since 2019. So great to have the Crazies back in the house as well. And folks, I can tell you, this Hilltopper team, the 2021 edition, is ramped up, and they are excited for this one because it is, as we talked about in pregame, the biggest game on their schedule this season in terms of the opponent that they're going to play. No disrespect meant to Willoughby South, to Mayfield, to Kenston. Those are all very fine programs that, frankly, have put up some interesting numbers so far to start the year, but they are not being mentioned among the contenders to be a state champion like Ursuline is this year.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly the difference. When you're talking about Ursuline, you're talking about a team that people look at and say, that's a state championship team. And obviously, we know what that means here in Chardon from last year. So you run into a good opponent, an opponent that can score in bunches. So like we said in the pregame, you want to make sure you control that line of scrimmage. Try to keep their offense off the field as best you can. They've got a lot of big, talented players on the defensive side, but, Week 1, they gave up a lot of points. I think a good offense like Chardon, especially giving Ursuline a different look, can give that defense some fits. I mean, that defense gave up 58 points Week 1. So I think that offensively, Chardon is ready to go at this defense. I think the key is going to be that lockdown Hilltopper defense handling what is probably the best offense they're going to see, at least during this regular season.
And the game that you're referring to, by the way, was a Week 1 62-58 win over Bishop Hartley for Ursuline. So they could very easily be 1-1 at this stage, but they are 2-0. Reagan Smith, the junior, going to kick things off here for Ursuline. It's going to be a short kick that's going to go toward the sidelines. Will be scooped up along the sidelines, running down the field to the 50, the 40, one man to beat the 30, the 20, and knocked out of bounds. For the Hilltoppers, that was A.J. Bruce, the sophomore, who ran it back.
Only had the kicker to beat, and the kicker, Mark Manning, was able to get there and knock him out of bounds. But that's a great return. You're thinking, keep the ball out of the hands of Chardon's playmakers. Let's kick it short. And then that's what you get. The Hilltoppers get to start on your 20-yard line. When you're coming into a game playing the defending state champs, this is not where you want to start.
Well, Chardon will begin with the ball on their own on the Ursuline 20-yard line. Man in motion. They will hand it off up the middle, and the battering ram himself, Mr. Sean Carr, taking it forward for a gain of about 6 on that run. Sean Carr will be joined up front by the likes of number 27, Daniel Pettyjohn, and number 5, Trey Liebhart. We also will likely see Rocco Perico, number 21, in the backfield. Potentially Heath Fetchick, maybe Brody Dotson as well.
You look at guys like Perico and Dotson, when they're out there, their job is to block in front of the big playmakers like a Carr or a Liebhart.
Perico was going in motion, and it's going to be a offside encroachment penalty against Ursuline, so that will give the Hilltoppers a first down.
That was Tyreek Donlow, only a sophomore. Before the game, coach was very high on him, but he's only a sophomore, and he mentioned that he's still rounding into shape, and there he lines up off sides.
It'll be 1st and goal from the 9. Alex Henry, the junior, 6'3", 195 from the gun. We'll fake it. We'll go up the middle himself. Henry in the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers!
Well, Matt, we talked about how it's a defense that has shown you can score on them, and right immediately the Chardon offensive line winning that battle up front against a big defensive unit. 2 holes, those were runs right up the middle. Nothing needed to the outside. A run up the middle, a 5-yard penalty, a run up the middle, and the Hilltoppers, less than a minute into the game, have scored their first touchdown on the new turf here.
That's what we like to see. They're breaking it in. Nathan Tagger out to attempt the PAT. And got to give a shout-out to News Herald writer John Camp, who already tweeted out as that kick is through the uprights and good. How long will it take Nathan to break the scoreboard?
He got to the top row that time of the stands behind the field, so yeah. And, you look at Tagger, he's got plenty of season left to do it, so he will have more opportunities, and if he's already at the top row, I think there's a chance he'll hit it this year. Well, tonight's special cable cast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees. We'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest, for their year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our viewers for their support.
Hilltoppers with a quick 7-0 lead. And Ryan, now part of me thinks, awesome, they're up 7-0, but now on the other hand, with less than a minute in the game, we're going to be seeing the Ursuline offense that has put up some points this year.
Yeah, they put up some points. Quarterback Brady Shannon, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in 2 games, on his way to play college baseball in D1 next year. So he's a real strong candidate. And then a good running game, too. DeMarcus McElroy, who is averaging 143 yards a game in the first 2 of this season. So we'll see the Ursuline offense coming up here in a second, and it'll be a good test for this Hilltopper defense that has played so well. Good test for them still early in the season.
Oh, this would be a good time for Tagger to put it in the end zone. He does. Was close. Boy, Jacqueline Irving wanted to return that badly, but unfortunately he was a step or 2 into the end zone, so a touchback, and the Fighting Irish will take over at their own 20-yard line.
Irving was trying to have quick feet there, Matt. He was trying to jump out real quick, hoping the official wouldn't notice, but official was on it down there.
Fighting Irish led by, as we mentioned, number 5, the QB Brady Shannon, a senior, 6'3", 210. DeMarcus Elroy will be in the backfield. He is number 6, and 4 receivers, 2 on each side in this set. Running out now, feeling some pressure, avoiding 1 tackle, and heading out of bounds with Shannon. Couple toppers in on that chase, but boy, Alex McDonald had a chance to, or check that wasn't McDonald, that was
Mario Tolo, who took a diving effort there and couldn't quite come up with him. And there you see some speed from Brady Shannon. We were told he was quick. He stepped right around that one.
They're going to throw it far side, caught by Marcus Manning, trying to get around the end. Will get the first down, but there is a flag near the line of scrimmage.
And it's going to be holding against the Fighting Irish, so that's going to push them back 10 yards. And the Fighting Irish had 2 positive plays to start on the road against the defending state champs, and on the second one they commit the penalty.
Think about this, Ryan. How often do you have the defending state champion in one division playing a potential state champion in another in a regular season game? Not that often.
Does not happen very often. These are the weekends, Matt, that make high school football so great. Weekends like this.
2 receivers to each side. McElroy in the backfield alongside Shannon. Now he'll move to his left. Shannon will fake the handoff, looking to throw over the middle. Is caught by Manning. Manning going to be dragged down for little gain. Good team effort by the Hilltopper defense. Saw Brody Dotson in there, and also Looked like it was Ryan Peterson in there as well.
Just a good route by Manning there. He got in between the rush and the linebackers who were dropping back into coverage, and he just ran a little button hook and got open right there. Nice route, good positive play, but still only 4 yards for Ursuline, and that's where those penalties really hurt you, Matt, because you're against a good defense. You get a good positive play, and you're still facing 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 from the 22. Shannon looking to throw, slings it right side, has a man, and he catches the ball, but he's going to be short. That was Dean Boyd. But Boyd, the 6'4 senior, could not get the first down.
Yeah, Bruce comes in coverage, and A.J. Bruce was just not going to let him get any positive yardage. That was a great throw there by Brady as he hits the receiver on the run. That's exactly what you want. You're expecting turn the corner, first down, but A.J. Bruce said nope and just closed that off. Good play by Bruce.
Heath Fetchick back to receive the punt from Mark Manning, who doubles as the punter and the wide receiver. You'll also see him on defense, too, as a cornerback. Manning claps his hands, gets the ball. Bit of a short kick, going to take a Fighting Irish bounce across the 50 and wind its way down to about the 38-yard line. That's where the Hilltoppers offense will come back out on the field. Boy, we're starting position for them today.
Yeah, that's right. They have to start all the way back at their own 40. Well, Matt, we talked about we're going to have to watch on the punts, the bounce on the new turf, and got a good bounce there for the Fighting Irish. All the way back to the 39. That bounce at their own 45.
Chardon going to have a 2-receiver set out near side. Man going in motion. They will hand it off around the right side. That's Trey Liebhart, breaks one tackle, and Liebhart makes his way up near the 47-yard line before he's pushed back.
Before the game, Coach Hewitt said we want to try to feed Trey Liebhart. He's a home run hitter. And on his first touch of the game, he picks up 7 yards, almost got into a hole. Will Burney came in and was able to make a big stop. Otherwise, Liebhart might have been running for a long time.
Well, we didn't see much of Trey last week, and that was by design just based on the heat.
Yeah, too hot to play both ways, and he's so important to the Topper defense as well.
Carr gets the handoff, and Carr stuffed near the line of scrimmage. Boy, they have a big line, and we're going to talk about that. Also, we do have to mention the Toppers offensive line too, but you look at the Fighting Irish line, they have 4 down linemen. Tyreek Donlow, who's a sophomore, 6'1", 212. Then Michael Branch, the junior, 5'10", 285. The big boy, though, is Levi Grimes, a senior, 6'2", 336. And on the other end, Casey Luger is a junior, 6'1", 245.
Yeah, they got some big guys on that defensive line there. Maybe not the quickest defensive line. You might be able to run around them, but it's going to be tough treading going up the middle against those guys today.
Toppers did get the first down, so 1st and 10 now from the 49. Carr gets the swing pass out left side, 50, 45, and Carr. And now a late flag comes out.
I was to say, that comes falling, and they're...
Will be holding against the Hilltoppers.
I mean, that's called from the other side of the field, Matt, so...
My view of it was blocked, but apparently the official saw it.
Yeah, the play was over at the 45. The official standing at the 20 saw it and threw his flag on it, so Topper's going to lose 10 yards there. So both teams suffering a big penalty early, and these 10-yard penalties are drive killers when you're playing good teams.
Want to get back, by the way, to that Chardon offensive line. We're going to see Adam Jackson, the senior, 5'11", 230. Simon Rodriguez, the senior, 6'0", 260. Aiden Itchie, the center, he's a senior, 6'1", 250. We'll get you the other side in just a minute here. Henry fakes, now looking to throw. He has a man open. It's McDonald, the 40, the 30. McDonald down toward the 20. First down, Hilltoppers.
Not sure what happened to Alex McDonald, or not sure how Alex McDonald got so open. Right now I'm looking at one of the coaches come over and talk to DeMarcus McElroy, who doubles as the running back. He just lost McDonald, and McDonald was 5 yards behind him. Good route there by McDonald, able to pick up the big first down, but I saw the discussion. Looked like maybe it was McElroy who missed an assignment there on McDonald.
Want to finish the Topper line on the right side. It's Logan Bryan, a senior, 6'3", 285, and making his first start as an offensive lineman tonight. TJ Altman, the senior, 5'10", 230. Of course, he's playing in place of Matthew Organisak, injured last week, and that was a big blow.
That was. Those are big shoes to fill, too. Organisak so good at blocking.
Carr up the middle, moves the pile, and boy, the Hilltoppers getting some momentum right now.
Yeah, diving up the middle there against, we talked about a big defensive line. They pick up 6 yards. And, yeah, so it'll be, good for them to get out there and just move the football. And they're looking, and there's just such a mental thing when you're on the road to getting down 2 scores early. And the Hilltoppers have an opportunity to do that to a really good Fighting Irish team that really hasn't been behind that much. They were in a shootout, and they won a blowout.
2nd and 3. Henry going to keep it himself going right side. Henry stays up on his feet toward the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers!
And Henry will say thank you very much to Caden Dawson, who sealed a block there at the 3-yard line. Looked like Henry was going to come down. The Hilltoppers are going to be at 1st and goal, and Dawson throws a big block there to get Henry into the end zone.
Now the Hilltoppers right now doing it on the ground and doing it well. Tagger out to attempt the PAT. High snap. Nathan picks it up, looking to do something with it. He is just going to be taken down near the 20. Boy, not much Nathan could do. Thought that Chardon, after last week, had those issues under control, but boy, a special teams play comes back to hurt them again.
And you replace you still have a new holder and a new long snapper. It's only week 3, so this is still a work in progress here this year for the Hilltoppers in that kicking game, Matt. And that time just snap got a little bit too high, and those things will happen. Well, the turf is now field turf down here. Lines are for different sports: football, soccer, girls lacrosse, and boys lacrosse. We got real sharp-looking black end zones down there with nice red lettering. And then the LED scoreboard made by Daktronics. It consumes less than 20% of the power that the old Topper board did, and no light bulbs to burn out up there, Matt.
Wow.
It's amazing. You don't think of that all the time. Those older scoreboards using those light, just how much more energy and how much more of a cost that is for operating your stadium than these new scoreboards that are so energy efficient.
Tagger going to kick it off again here. High kick. No doubt about this one, into the end zone. And Ursuline again will start from their 20.
2 for 2 on those touchbacks, and we talked about it a bit last week. The ability to get those touchbacks is just as much a skill as the ability to put one in between the uprights. And it completely changes the game for your defense, completely changes the game for the opposing offense. And Tagger really good at getting that ball into the end zone for those touchbacks.
Now Brady Shannon going to look to throw the ball right side. It's picked! Heading toward the 5-yard line. That's Ryan Peterson, the linebacker, with the interception. He nearly had a pick 6.
Jacqueline Irving saved the pick 6, but what a great play there by Peterson. Matt, Brady Shannon screened what he was going to do. You could see it from the beginning that was going to be a screen pass to the outside. Peterson saw it too. He just jumped the route. I mean, he jumped right in front, caught it. Good read there by Peterson. Brady Shannon, a senior, very good quarterback. That time, he showed what he was going to do a little bit. Peterson made him pay.
So the Toppers offense right back on the field. And this is the point in time, Ryan, where good teams put their opponents away. Toppers looking to get another touchdown here. In motion. They will hand it off right side toward the end zone. No signal yet. Stopped just shy at the 1-yard line. And that time it was a new runner. It was Trey Liebhart.
Liebhardt couldn't quite get in there. We talked about that big defensive line for the Fighting Irish. They held up strong there at the goal line, stopping Liebhardt at the 1.
Pettyjohn comes in, Liebhardt comes out. Zoran Vujiklia, by the way, enters the game. Split end far to the left. Carr in the backfield. Man in motion. They give it to Carr. Touchdown, Toppers!
Just give the ball to Sean Carr, and he'll take care of the rest. You're at the goal line, at the 1-yard line. Sean Carr is the guy, and he gets it into the end zone. And you talked about it, Matt. This is what good teams do. They bury you early. Ursuline has made a couple of mistakes. The Hilltoppers will not let you get away with that. You can play some teams to get away with that. You can't play Chardon to get away with that. They made the Fighting Irish pay, and Ursuline, who many people think is potential D4 state championship winner this year, finds themselves down 3 scores early on the road.
Good snap this time. And there he goes. He hits the scoreboard.
First kick to hit the new scoreboard, the first dent in it. Nathan Tagger gets it done. Hey, GTV is on the internet. Check out our new website with streaming links and more. You can watch GTV wherever you go, Florida, Columbus, even Tuscaloosa. Streaming video of both channels available now at geaugatv.org.
Have to laugh again. We were talking with John Camp prior to the game, and he had mentioned to Coach Hewitt as he was walking by to get another beverage. I think it was a Gatorade he was working on, but he asked Coach, he said, hey, look at this tweet I sent out. How long is it going to take before Nathan breaks the scoreboard? And Coach Hewitt looked at him and said, well, it means his pay-to-play fees are going up.
Luckily, that one, I think, hit below any crucial infrastructure. So,
well, he's just getting his aim locked in.
That's right. Once again, there's no light bulbs for the kickers to break anymore, right? That was part of the fun if you got it up there and you hit one of those little light bulbs.
Yeah, but now it's like a cell phone.
That's
you drop it. I do want to say this, though. The man who I think had the biggest smile on his face today when I saw him when I walked in the facility was Doug Snyder. And he has just been a magician the way that he has had to reschedule so many things and all the effort that he has put into this. Tagger's kick will be fielded at the 2 to the 10, 15, cut back near the 20, and that's it. Good ankle tackle by the Hilltoppers.
This is Vujiklia getting in there.
Zoran.
And, Matt, those are the type of plays that you have to. Now you got them buried. You don't want to give them anything. So they get their first chance to return one today, and Vujiklia able to make a nice open field tackle to stop that one at about the 20-yard line. Those are the plays that really will put the nail in a team's proverbial coffin there when they just can't get anything going positively.
So Brady Shannon going to hand it off. McElroy makes a couple cuts, makes a couple guys burn. He has one man. Does he get the block of Sulka? And he's pushed out of bounds inside the 10, down near the 7. Boy, McElroy took off. And you just saw DeMarcus McElroy with that breakaway speed.
Well, Matt, they got pass happy. We hadn't seen them hand the ball off to McElroy yet. He's averaging 143 yards a game. First handoff, he goes off for 70. And that's what we talked about with Ursuline. Big play potential. Fumble.
And who has it? The Toppers do. And there's a flag. No, that's not a flag. Take that back.
That was just the marker that they threw.
So the Hilltoppers get another turnover. And you have to wonder now, maybe is Ursuline starting to feel some nerves early on?
You see it. You see it. But again, man, this is just what we were talking about. When you're a good team, what you do to put the nail in the coffin is you make big plays. There you force a fumble, you take advantage of it, you pick it up right after Ursuline was starting to feel good. And you do have to wonder if it's in their head because, again, we talked about they've been pass happy, and McElroy's a really good back, so you wonder what's going on right now as the Fighting Irish find themselves down 3 scores.
Toppers taking their time. Henry looking. Going to throw it toward the sidelines. And he got it out of bounds just. Whew, that was That was a dangerous pass.
We haven't seen the Hilltoppers take the lid off much there. Caden Dawson was open, sprinting down the sideline. The pass was off target, though. Could have been intercepted, but fortunately it got out of bounds. Now we have a penalty against the Fighting Irish, so the Hilltoppers get some yardage here.
It's a big 15-yard penalty. And, man, penalties have been a pain in the neck tonight for Ursuline. We'll give Chardon the ball on, what, the 26-yard line?
Mm-hmm. Too many mistakes by the Fighting Irish early. Can't do that against good teams like Chardon.
Henry will hand it off, trying to make a cut, getting up near the 33. Was that Pettyjohn? Yes, it was.
Pettyjohn was running to his right. He said, oh, there's nothing there. I'm going to cut back left. And he was able to pick up 8 yards when he cut back left. So nice run there by Pettyjohn. Set up 2nd and short for the Toppers.
Second and 2 now from the 34. And Henry trying to get around the end to pick up the first down, knocked out of bounds. He's close. Let's see where this spot is. Tough from our viewpoint up here to judge.
They're moving it, so he just got there to that 30. I actually marked him up at the 37, so he moves the chains by a yard.
Vuyaklia, split end far to the left. Henry under center. Tight wing T. They will hand it off, trying to get around the left side. Now making a cut in up near the 40-yard line. And nice job by Rocco Perico. Gained a few yards there.
Rocco Perico, so good in the blocking game. That time he gets a carry, and he's able to pick up 5 strong yards. And that's the thing about this Hilltoppers offense that you can tell they've been starting to get in their rhythm the past couple of weeks is you look at that and say, oh, that's a small play, and then you look up and it's 5 or 6 yards because that offense is in that rhythm now. Every play is 5, 6 yards on the ground.
Man in motion, they'll fake the handoff. Now it goes to Carr up the middle, and Carr muscles his way down near the 47-yard line.
Yeah, that was Carr dragging Levi Grimes there for a couple yards, who comes in at 336, and Carr dragged him enough to move the chains for the first down.
Now, you mentioned Rocco Perico, and want to mention this again because his parents were sitting next to us at Bookdale, and they let us know last week was his birthday.
Yeah, so it was a good birthday for Rocco. You win a game 42-0 on the road. Can't complain about that.
Henry will hand the ball off, and getting close to the first down is Perico.
Nice run there for the Hilltoppers, and you're going to move the chains again.
Now, you're already starting to see this. This Ursuline defense might be getting a little bit gassed at this stage of the game. They've been out on the field a long time, and we're seeing some D linemen already hands on their hips.
That's just what the Hilltoppers do to you. They wear you down, and, I mean, the Ursuline offense really hasn't been on the field at all in this first quarter.
Fake handoff. Henry makes a good cut, and Henry down near the 37 near side. That time, he had one man to beat. Couldn't do it, though. But you have to give Henry credit because he made a good read at the line.
You're still picking up 4 yards on first down, and, I mean, this is exactly the way the Hilltoppers want to play. They had a couple of short fields to start. Long field, this is a long drive. They're taking time off the clock. They're keeping that big play offense in Ursuline off the field, and they're wearing down this defense early. I was going to say, he just slipped, but that's an illegal procedure. Pettyjohn started a little early that time.
We'll bring up now a 2nd down and 11 from the 42-yard line of Ursuline. Clock running 1:48 and counting here in the first quarter, and we don't keep the official time of possession stat, but Ursuline has not had the ball for more than 2 minutes in this game.
No.
Chardon going to hand it off. Perico, no, check that. That was not Perico. That time it was
It's Sean Carr carrying the load on this drive. He really is.
Feed the big man.
Yeah, this week in particular, that's a great thing about Chardon is different guys can be involved every week, and the way this first quarter has gone, it's been a lot of Sean Carr here tonight.
Henry now from the gun. Pettyjohn in motion. Fakes it to Pettyjohn. And Henry up the middle, breaks one tackle, brought down near the 25-yard line. Alex Henry moving the chains. And it was Will Burney who made that touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, great tackle by Burney, and you have to love Alex Henry too. Burney was standing right in front of him, and Henry didn't try anything fancy to get around him. He just ran right into him, went one-on-one. So you got to love that effort from Alex Henry there too, and a great run up the middle. You've been going to Sean Carr so much that the Fighting Irish kind of forgot about the QB keeper.
Well, and Henry potentially has the most explosive speed on this team. Back to Carr. Carr up the middle again and makes his way across the 20 down near the 16.
I mean, the offensive front for the Hilltoppers is just doing such a great job up there. You look down there at Smith throwing good blocks out there to keep the drive moving. You also have seen a lot from Logan Bryant in the blocking game. I mean, the A-gap wide open for Sean Carr to run through so far today.
What a first quarter it has been. Folks, it's great to be back at Chardon Memorial. So glad you tuned in on GTV. Toppers up 20-0. We'll take a break and come back with second quarter action right here on GTV. There you see the Chardon Crazy celebrating 11 years of Chardon craziness. I'm sure they all have not been within the Crazies for 11 years.
No,
maybe one or two. I'm sure there's some parents probably sneaking in there to.
What I will tell you is there's definitely alumni that's snuck in there with their friends.
Yes, there is.
That is for sure. So.
Hilltoppers now working their way right to left on your TV screen. Leading 20-0 here as we start the second quarter. Henry under center. Will hand the ball off. Pettyjohn, who gains a couple yards coming left side.
Running the outside there. They've done so much up the middle on this drive. They gone to Pettyjohn a couple of times to run from the outside to mix it up a little bit. But as we mentioned in the first quarter, largely Sean Carr has carried the load on this drive for the Hilltoppers.
Salka and Perico, the wideouts to the right. Pettyjohn in motion. Henry going to keep him himself. Makes a cut. Henry trying to get inside the 10, and he does. Maybe to the 8.
Henry running behind Pettyjohn there. Pettyjohn made the initial block, but coming in was Danny Cox to get the stop for the Fighting Irish. So good play down there. Still, I mean, for the Fighting Irish defense, they're giving up 5 yards of play right now.
2nd and 5 now from the 8. Henry has Carr behind him. Man goes in motion. They will hand it off. Sean Carr, and Carr across the 5 down near the 3. Should be good enough for the first down.
Will move the chain, so it's going to be 1st and goal, and just another strong run by Carr. More good blocking up front by that Hilltopper offensive line. And we talked about the big size on the defensive line of the Fighting Irish, but the skill and the knowledge of the assignments and knowing what they need to do on that offensive line for Chardon has been too much for that big defensive front. The Hilltoppers are doing a great job of handling that defensive line.
First and goal now from the 2. Toppers again knocking on the door. Man in motion. Low snap picked up. Headed toward the end zone. Touch! Is it?
Yes, it is.
Touchdown Toppers!
Alex Henry just turned a low snap into points. He just grabbed it, fell forward, and he's in there for the touchdown.
The officials were very hesitant. The official near side did a half touchdown motion, then brought it back down because he wasn't sure. And then the other officials were just kind of looking at one another saying, I don't know.
Eventually the official on the far side made the call.
Glad they did.
Yes. Listen, at some point in time, someone had to commit one way or the other.
And now, folks, this is why you don't park on the other end of the stadium. Taggart. Well, he kept it in that time. 27-0 Toppers. Boy, did we see him leave Buchtel Griffin Stadium, what, about 6 times last week?
Yeah, he was clearing those fences there. There's a couple footballs in backyards on the street behind the stadium. Hey, high school sports are just a part of our programming lineup on GTV. Our coverage will continue all year long for Berkshire, Cardinal, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and Chardon. We're starting our 26th year this fall. Check channels 1020 and 1025 and the GTV website, www.geaugatv.org, for replay dates and times. Also, don't forget the community and school bulletin board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV 1020 and 1025. Go to www.geaugatv.org for details on that as well.
Well, folks, 27-0 here, Hilltoppers. I don't think anybody in their right mind expected this score at this point in time of the game.
It shows how much, you got a lot of new players down there from last year, but it shows how much they've grown together already in 3 weeks as a team, how well they're playing and handling an opponent that's going to go deep in the playoffs in D4 this year. I don't think anyone's going to question that, but I mean that's how good this Hilltoppers team is again, and it's all about program. Coach Hewitt runs a great program here. Yeah, these guys, a lot of these guys weren't the guys playing on Friday night last year, but that doesn't matter. They're in the system. They know the system. They've been playing in it since they were kids. They know exactly what they need to do. And, this is what program football looks like. It's what they have in Chardon. It's what they have in Menor, in Kirtland. When you have program football, you're just good every year. And that's what the Hilltoppers are.
Hilltoppers tonight have 14 points off turnovers. Just keep that in mind as this game progresses. Taggart, a short kick will be picked up near the 15. They're going to give a little bit of running room to Jacqueline Irving, brings it out near the 35. And that is where the Fighting Irish will take over. Thing to keep in mind, though, folks, this, again, is a Ursuline program that has put up 112 points entering tonight's contest. By no means are they out of this game.
No, we already saw the big play capability there when they put the ball in McElroy's hands, and I don't think that, even though they're down 4, I don't think the Fighting Irish can afford to get pass happy. McElroy is arguably their best playmaker. They need to feed the ball to him.
And they run it that time, and nothing going there. That might have been a loss of yards. A lot of black jerseys in on that stop.
Hilltoppers cued in on that one, able to go in there. Before the game, we were talking, and the offensive line, real strength for the Fighting Irish, but they've been no match for the Hilltopper defense so far.
QB going to keep it himself, going straight ahead, picks up some yards there.
And he just had no choice. That play didn't have time to develop. Hilltoppers had pass rush in the backfield, and he just had to go. Trying to go no huddle, trying to get this Hilltopper defense off balance.
Well, Dan Reardon, the head coach at Ursuline, he has offensive coordinator John DeSantis with him. They're going to hand it off. McElroy fumbles the football. Toppers will pick it up. 3 first-half turnovers for Ursuline.
Well, the last fumble happened in the exchange between Shannon and McElroy. That fumble just happened. McElroy was trying to push the old X button for up and over on your PS5 remote, and he he ends up dropping the football in the process. And the Hilltoppers are just there. I mean, it's a defensive ball hawk, so sometimes you can drop a ball and pick it up. You can't do that against Chardon. You drop a ball, you're going to lose the ball.
Have to, by the way, shout out to Doug Snyder again. He's got some good tweets going tonight, by the way.
Look at that photo quality, too.
I know. It's just tremendous. Henry looking to pass. Now he's going to, well, he will pass it. He hits McDonald. McDonald across the 30 to 25, on his feet, 20, still going. McDonald down near the 15, the big man. Showing why he's a recruit at Youngstown State.
Right, you give yourself a little bit of high-low there. You give yourself two options. Perico ran a shorter route. McDonald ran the longer route. Perico had two defenders on him, which means, once again, second time today, Ursuline lost track of McDonald. McDonald was open. Henry saw that, hit McDonald in space. It's a first down.
I think I figured it out, by the way. New scoreboard. Doug probably got a new phone, better camera.
I mean,
why not? Bit of a bad snap. Henry, though, able to hang on to it. Henry moving forward right side. Boy, Alex Henry. Little juggle right there, but kept his composure.
Yeah, a little bit of juggle there. Play, even when the play breaks down, Alex Henry, just his third game starting, but even when the play breaks down, he's calm, he's collected, and he picks up 5 yards.
Zorin and Pettyjohn will check into this game. Zorin going to be split end out on the right side. Carr, Pettyjohn, the backs. Pettyjohn in motion. And the QB keeps it himself going forward toward the 3, and that's where the play will end. Boy, Alex Henry, there were a lot of questions entering the season as to how much of a load he could take, Ryan. But we've seen it over the last couple games. The carries have picked up, and we're starting to see now some real good decisions made when he's running the football.
Well, you mentioned it. He's probably the most explosive player on the offensive side of the ball. So he gets those big-time play calls there, and there you see it. He's able to run up the middle, and he is wearing down this Ursuline defense.
First and goal from the 3. Pettyjohn, Carr, and I think that's Perico, are your backs. Henry under center. Letting the clock burn a little bit here. And the Hilltoppers actually will take a timeout here with 7:13 to play.
Well, if you'd like to advertise on the new scoreboard, call the CHS Athletic Office at 286-0414, and they'll put you in touch with representatives of the Gridiron Club for those details.
Now you see it right there. That is a beautiful scoreboard.
And you can see you could now kind of have the video message there. You could put some of your pictures or stuff from your company up there, your company logo.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe GTV could give them some video footage, and you kind of have a best of thing going as the season progresses.
There you go. You could play highlights pregame.
Oh, that'd be fun.
There you go.
Ton of highlights tonight already. 27-0 Hilltoppers. Appreciate you joining us here on GTV. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. And this one has been all Hilltoppers. And Ryan, I think the offense is going to get a lot of mention, but you cannot overlook the defense's effort so far in this game.
No, you cannot. I mean, when they've been out there, they've done their job. They haven't had to be out there much, but they forced 3 turnovers. So when you force 3 turnovers, you're not going to be out there much. They've done a great job tonight.
Henry under center. Will hand it off. Carr in the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers! If this was the third quarter, we'd have a running clock.
And, I mean, it's incredible how quickly they built this big lead. And Sean Carr up the middle for a touchdown. So, makes sense. We talked about on the previous drive, Sean Carr carried a lot of the load. Alex Henry finished it. Alex Henry carried a lot of load on this drive, so Sean Carr finishes it. Touchdown for the Hilltoppers. And, I mean, this can't be overlooked. I mean, this is one of the best teams they're going to play all year, and they have just dominated them from the start.
Tagger out to attempt the PAT. Have a rough time with the snap. and they will not get anything going there. Boy, that just did not. I don't think that was a fake, but we'll have to talk with that after the game. Will Francis, by the way, is the holder, and I don't know if he had trouble with it or if it was just a designed fake at that point in time, trying to get those 2 back.
Yeah, and so that's 2 missed PATs after last week going solid 6 for 6 in that category for the Hilltoppers. Well, you can follow GTV with Twitter for all the latest replays, news, and other important info. Join GTV on Twitter, and you'll have all the latest.
Well, folks, with 7:09 to go here in the second quarter, we'll take a quick timeout on GTV. Welcome back, everyone. Chardon Memorial, Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Joined by our fabulous crew here, helping you bring the moving pictures. Good to be back here in Titletown. Do need to thank Dave Bors and company for being gracious hosts in week 1 while they were still working on the football field. Short high kick. This will go out of bounds.
So that'll be penalty on the kickoff there. It'll be the best starting field position of the game for the Fighting Irish.
I think at this point in time, up 33-0, Chardon trying to do a couple different things there. Trying to work on a few things. Maybe
time to get some work in.
Well, not only that, but maybe put some stuff on film to give their future opponents some things to think about as well.
Also a good point. Well, you mentioned we want to thank Dave Bors and the crew up at Riverside. Worth noting, too, although we didn't need it, West Geauga was willing to host us tonight, so thank you to them for having an open door if needed, but thankfully we got to come back.
And so many other schools, by the way, hosted other games from Mayfield to Euclid, NDCL, Berkshire. Just great to see a lot of schools do that. Pitch out left side, caught by Manning across the 40 and out of Mount. Stayed inbounds near the 43 on the far side. But when I was reading the paper, both Coach Hewitt, Doug Snyder, just couldn't thank enough all the support from their fellow schools.
But like you said, biggest smile was on Doug Snyder's face because he didn't have to find a place for every home game on the schedule anymore.
Shannon looking to pass, feeling some pressure, stepping up, he's dropped! Great pressure by the Hilltoppers. And that time it was the big man, Michael Washington, the senior, making the stop. No open receiver down the field.
6'1", 215, Washington just chases him down. Once he was in the backfield, he was going to get that sack, and eventually he did get to Brady Shannon down there.
Well, the Hilltoppers had 9 QB sacks last week. This week, 3 turnovers. So their defense working well. Shannon hit again, and this time he got hit from behind, and the first man to get him was Alex Nisley.
I mean, Shannon couldn't find anything open downfield. He's got big athletic receivers. This Hilltopper coverage just so good.
He did pick up the first down, though, on that run. Short pass caught for a gain of a couple yards shy of midfield. So Ursuline getting a few first downs here, maybe picking some things up, but down 33-0. While these drives are nice for them, they will be needing, if they want to get back in this game, some quick scores at some point in time.
Yeah, but you're right. This is good for them to kind of get that good feeling back. You bounced back and picked up the first down after you took that sack. And then, you ran a quick slant play to Mark Manning just to keep that good feeling going. Something quick, pick up a burst of 3 yards, keep moving the ball in the right direction.
Christian Lynch, the sophomore, gets the handoff, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, before he's brought down at the 45-yard line of Chardon after a nice little gain there. Peterson in on the stop.
Lynch is a change of pace back. He rushed for 71 yards coming into the game today. He's actually the 3rd leading rusher on the team, as Brady Shannon was 2nd in that regard.
Officials needed to re-spot the football. First down and 10 from the 44. Brady Shannon from the gun, dropping back the pass, looking over the middle. Ball's caught by Manning in the end zone. Touchdown! Mark Manning, the junior, with the 44-yard score.
And there's that big play potential we talked about. It's a big early lead. You're at home. There's a lot of time left, and you saw Mark Manning. He just ran past anybody. 3 slants there. They were trying to take the lid off. They were starting to have that good feeling. They said, let's open up the game and go for the end zone, and Manning was open in the middle of the field. Nice, quick touchdown.
Ursuline, what are they going to do here? They're going to go for the 1-point attempt. Reagan Smith, the kicker, out to attempt the PAT. Boy, they were in the huddle for so long, I thought maybe they were going to consider 2. Smith with the kick. And it is good. So with 5:05 to play before halftime, Ursuline gets on the scoreboard, but Chardon still up 33-7.
Well, GTV fall coverage moves to volleyball and soccer next week as we cover those teams. We'll be covering tennis soon as well. Our soccer coverage will be interesting and exciting with this new surface. All the teams are really anxious to play and practice on the new field. GTV is looking for cameramen and production assistants to help on our sports coverage. Email us at geogatv@windstream.net if you're looking for some fun part-time work. Hang out with Brian.
Couldn't we just clone Brian? I mean, they've cloned sheep. Your wife wouldn't mind 2 of you, 3 of you? 4? Okay. His wife wants an order for 4.
I have to say, it would really be something if there were 4 Brians running around tonight.
Dave wouldn't know what to do. I don't know if we could handle that, Brian. Hilltoppers defense, the first string defense, gives up the first point since the Glenville game.
It doesn't matter which defense it was. No one gave up points last week, so first time since week 1, and really in the first quarter of week 1, because Glenville's second touchdown in the second half was on a return. So, I mean, the Hilltopper defense hadn't given up points since the first half of week 1.
Just under 5 minutes left to go. Hilltoppers offense will be back out on the field.
If there's any chance the Fighting Irish are feeling momentum, Matt, take it away from them right now. Nice long drive. Take it basically to the locker room, and I wrap this up. You don't want to let Ursuline get the ball back again, because Ursuline will have the ball to start the second half. So you want to avoid giving them a potential 2-for-1 opportunity, which would really put them right back in the thick of this game.
Absolutely. If you can run the clock off now, get 3 or 7 on the board, it will do wonders for you. You know that old saying, sometimes the best defense is your offense, and for Chardon, that has somewhat been the case tonight. Pettyjohn, Daniel gets the call going around the right side. Pettyjohn, a good cut. He's near the first down. He gets it across the 40, down near the 42.
Well, and the other thing too, Matt, is this defense for the Fighting Irish is still tired. They scored, but they didn't really get a break because it's a quick play, flash offense. And you look down there, a bunch of the guys who are out there on offense are out there playing defense right now for the Fighting Irish. So, I mean, these guys still, they got that score, but this is a tired defense as the Hilltoppers have really worked them here in this first half.
2 minutes and 4 seconds is what was taken off the clock on that drive by Ursuline. Handoff coming left side, getting around the 40. The 50 is Perico. Perico up near the Ursuline 42-yard line. Great job by Rocco.
And great job by Daniel Pettyjohn, too, throwing a block on that outside as Perico was turning the corner. Pettyjohn throws a block, opens that up. That's a first down. And just every week talk about how impressive it is, the blocking by this Hilltopper team. Everyone knows their assignment. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Henry under center. We'll give it to Sean Carr. Sean Carr bouncing through a couple guys and gets his way near the first down.
Nearly picked up a first down. Jack Erickson was following the sweep. Erickson eventually gets the stop, but he had to come back to Sean Carr because Sean Carr actually ran past him and pushed him out of the way because, again, the Fighting Irish getting a little tired. They bit on the sweep run. Play was going up the middle, and 8 yards on that first down carry.
It is so difficult to practice against a fine-tuned wing T offense. Of course, 41 years for the wing T here in Chardon. Man in motion. The give coming around the left side. That was Perico.
Coming in there to get the stop was Tariq Dunlow.
You know, what's interesting, I'm just starting to think about this. We spoke with Coach Hewitt prior to the game, and one of the names that we brought up was Trey Liebhart. And he said, boy, we got to feed him the ball tonight. But they've had such a big lead, they haven't needed to.
No, and you're starting to see other guys. I mean, that's been a few big runs by Perico tonight. Carr, who has the ball now, has had a big first half.
Clock running under 2:40 here to play before halftime. And this is what the Hilltoppers want to do. They need some of these. Well, it's great to get these 10 and 8 yard runs. That'll get you in near the end zone pretty quick. A couple 3-4 yard runs here and there, eat up a little bit of clock.
Like we said, wind this clock down. You want to avoid giving the Fighting Irish a 2-for-1 opportunity that would get them right back into this game.
Henry will hand it off, and that time Ursuline going to snuff it out. Grimes, one of the guys up there, saw Perico, got him down.
If you're Chardon, you're in 4-down territory here, Matt, so you don't need to pick up all 8 here on this play. Give yourself 4 or 5.
From the 28, they pitch it to Pettyjohn. Makes a nice cut, but Pettyjohn cannot get out of the backfield. That's going to be 4th down and long. And unfortunately, I think they're out of Taggart's field goal range here.
Yeah, you would be talking about lining up from about 45, 46. That would be a tough decision. And the Fighting Irish are thinking, we're going to get this football back. And so they're going to take a timeout here. They don't want to let the Hilltoppers run off any more clock. You have to go for it here on 4th and 8. So it's unfortunate you weren't really able to get anything going there as C.J. Frasco made a nice play to get the stop.
For the Hilltoppers, it'll be a 4th down and 7. A lot of options. But, you know, if anybody, I think you need to give it in the hands of Alex Henry at this point in time.
Alex Henry has been the biggest playmaker today. I would say that's probably the good decision to make there. You know, trust Alex Henry to find the first down. If you get something open up the middle, you can always give it to Sean Carr, too, as he's had a big game. Hilltoppers have only attempted 1 pass in this one. I wouldn't think you'd pass here. Your bread and butter is to run. Even though it's 4th and 8, go out there and run.
Well, the issue is if you throw a pick here, it could be easily returned to the house.
Yeah. I'm sorry, they've attempted 3 passes because there were 2 completions to Alex McDonald.
So the Hilltoppers, with 1:42 left on the clock, will head back out on the field. We'll have a 4th down and 7 from the Ursuline 28. And this is the most Ursuline has challenged them up to this point in the game. Henry dropping back to pass. Looking. Will throw left side, has a man. Spinning around, but well shy of the first down. They got it to Liebhart. So it'll be a turnover on downs near the 29-yard line with 1:34 to play.
Trying to run a play to get Liebhart open in space, and the Fighting Irish just stayed home. Weren't able to do it. So, you know, right now for the Fighting Irish, that's a big win. They got big play capability. They're certainly capable, Matt, of scoring in 1:34 here. 2 timeouts on the board still.
Manning and Boyd, receivers out to the left. Bruni and Irving near side. McElroy and Shannon in the backfield. Shannon with the throw over the middle, has Manning, 50, breaks a tackle, brought down from behind, fumbled the football, Hilltoppers take it over on the 40.
They're saying he was down. I think that's the right call, Matt. I don't think the Hilltoppers fans are going to be happy, but I do believe that Mark Manning was down when he lost that football. I think that's the right call. Big first down play. That was just a soft spot in the middle of that defense for the big first down.
Now, Mark Manning has burned the Toppers now for 2 huge catches. They've got to figure out a way to stop him here with 1:10 to go. Looking to throw down the sideline, left side ball up in the air, overthrown. They were looking for Dean Boyd, the 6'4 senior, but Shannon just couldn't put the throw on the mark.
Yeah, good coverage down there by A.J. Bruce, but that throw was a little bit high. As good as the coverage was, Bruce is giving 5 inches down there to Boyd. So if you're Shannon, you'd be more than happy to throw up a jump ball to Boyd in that situation and see if he can come down with it. Just overthrew the mark.
Flag on the field, holding against Ursuline. They'll move the ball back to the 50, so back to midfield. Will be 2nd down and 20. 1:09 to go here before halftime. Ursuline trying to cut into this 33-7 Chardon lead. Scrambling across the 50, down to the 45, 40, 35, and out of bounds near the 30s, Brady Shannon.
Shannon did all you need to ask him to do there. He picks up the first down. He gets out of bounds to move the clock. The Hilltoppers not rushing very many guys there, and Shannon able to take advantage of that, pick up the first down.
Shannon doesn't run a lot, but when he does, he picks up yards, about 11 per carry. Flushing out near side, going to take off again, 30. Going out of bounds near the 26, and boy, he just threw a Hilltopper defender out of the way.
That could have been close to a taunting call. Those do happen at the high school level. Didn't come in there. Shannon makes the big stop, throws a guy down out of bounds. It's another first down to move the chains. And
you want to talk about a physical mismatch. You have Shannon, who's 6'3", 210 versus Bruce, 5'11", 165, the senior versus the sophomore.
I mean, right now it looks like the Fighting Irish, they took a pretty good licking in the first round, but they're bouncing back here in round 2.
Right side all the way open, easy score, blown coverage as Jacqueline Irving gets in the end zone.
Yeah, blown coverage is right, and I see 3 defenders down there talking to each other right now. But this Hilltopper defense that has been locked down all night long, past 2 drives, they've given up big 30, 35-yard throws, more than one on each drive. And it's getting the Fighting Irish right back into this game. Like we said, they're going to get the football to start the second half.
Chardon jumped out to the 33-0 lead, but it has been 13 unanswered points by Ursuline to close out this first half, and they're trying to make it 14 with this point after attempt.
And I'll tell you what, Matt, when you see how quickly they score, not the most comfortable 33-14 lead.
Smith, bit of a low kick. He bounced it off the upright. No good.
I think that Leo Columbi might have gotten a hand on that one, Matt. I think Columbi got a hand on it, redirected the kick, and it ended up hitting the pylon. Hey, don't forget birthdays, anniversaries, and other special occasions can be made more special through GTV. Send that terrific picture or pictures to us, and we'll help highlight the event. Please enclose a self-addressed stamp envelope. Once again, our address is GTV, P.O. Box 336, Chardon, Ohio, 44024, or email us that beautiful picture at geogatv@windstream.net.
Well, the Hilltoppers will be having something to discuss when they go in the locker room at halftime, and it's going to be the pass defense and how they can stop Brady Shannon, Mark Manning, and Jacqueline Irving.
And the pass defense has been so good all year long, but against a really talented wide receiver group here at Ursuline, past couple drives, it just hasn't been there. And sure, it's something the coaches will be talking to them about at halftime, staying at home on those assignments, on those deep routes.
James McGlone set to kick it off for the Fighting Irish. Short kick will be taken near the 27. Perico fighting for yardage and knocked out of bounds near the 33, and that is where the Hilltoppers will take over with 45 seconds left to go.
Remember the first play of the game, Matt, that little kick. The up back takes it, runs all the way up to the 20-yard line. There are a bunch of turnovers. Everything for the first 19, 20 minutes is going Chardon's way. Past 6 or 7, that's reversed. It seems like it's the Fighting Irish making every play right now. That time they do the short kick, and they get the result they want. The Hilltoppers can't make a play.
Toppers offense back out on the field. Henry under center, man in motion. And he will hand it off. Perico, and Perico stuffed after a 2-yard gain. Clock continues to run, maybe one play left.
Yeah, Hilltoppers, looks like the last thing they want to do is turn the ball over here. They're going to keep it safe. Go into the locker room. They still, you've given up 2 touchdowns in the past 7 minutes. You still got a 20-point lead going to the locker room at home. It's difficult because of the swings in this game, but at the beginning of this game, you would have taken 33-13 at halftime. The crowd has gotten really quiet here, but if at the beginning of the game, Matt, you were sitting here saying the Hilltoppers are going to be winning 33-13 at halftime, you'll take that. So don't let those momentum swings get to you. You're still in a good place as you head into the locker room, exactly where you would have wanted to be.
Absolutely. Ursuline will get the ball to start the third quarter, but before that takes place, we invite you to stick around because the band is up next when we come back here on GTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the 2021 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The band is being led onto the field by Senior Drum Major Michael Molesky. The band staff is very proud of this group of students in front of you because they have worked hard the last couple of weeks and are excited to perform for you tonight. Our show this evening is all about believing. We open with Do You Believe in Love by Huey Lewis and the News. Our next selection features our Topperette dance team in a tune from the 1960s by pop rock group The Monkees. It was also covered by Smash Mouth and was part of the Shrek soundtrack. With captains Lindsey Craig and Alana Kolek, here is I'm a Believer. Small town girls and city boys taking the midnight train going anywhere. Featuring our majorettes, here is Don't Stop Believin'. Gentlemen, put your hands together for the Chardon High School Fight Song.
What a great job by the Hilltopper Band. Always sound phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great show, and this was the first time that we had two band shows this year, as Ursuline brought their band up from Youngstown, entertaining halftime.
And that was another thing I think we all missed last year, was it was just the home band and nothing else. And great to see the kids able to travel this year to the away games. And it's always good to have the band backing up the football team.
I mean, there's definitely something missing in high school football when you score a touchdown and the next thing you hear isn't the fight song. Like, there's something missing there.
Preach it, my friend. The Hilltoppers up 33-13, so a 20-point lead for Chardon.
This is a critical first drive for the Hilltopper defense, though. They gave up a lot of big pass plays late in that first half.
Tagger, the return will be made from the 1 yard line, racing up through the 15 past the 20, maybe up to the 23 yard lines, the return man. That was Irving.
But yeah, like I was saying, Matt, you gave up a lot of big pass plays late in that first half. You were up 33-0. This is a big drive. Don't let it get back to a 2-score game here. Get a stop. Get your offense back on the field.
Now the Hilltoppers were aided by 3 turnovers from Youngstown Ursuline. And the defense would love to get a few more. Handoff, McElroy going right side. McElroy falls forward, picks up about a yard or so on that carry.
Good start to the second half for the defense there, taking that good running back and holding him up to a short gain of just 2 yards.
From the gun, Brady Shannon dropping back to pass, flushing out near side. Has some time, spinning around, reversing his course. Shannon looking down the field, has a man open, and he hits his receiver in stride. He found Dean Boyd for a huge gain.
And there's nothing you could do, and I think this was kind of the decision that Ursuline made late in that first half, Matt. We've got great athletes out there, and we've got decided, the Hilltoppers have a shutdown defense, but I'm willing to throw that ball up and assume my guy's going to get it. Liebhart had great coverage there. Nothing else he could do.
Shannon tucks it, runs up the middle, and he's taken down near the 35-yard line, pickup of about 6 on first down.
It's been the other difference maker, too, is Brady Shannon. When there's nothing there, he can handle it on his feet, and he's picking up 5 or 6 yards every time on the ground.
Well, it's been this no-huddle offense that has hurt the Hilltoppers. 2nd and 5 from the 36 of Chardon. Brady Shannon from the gun, dropping back, 5 receivers. Quick throw, near side ball is caught, then dropped. Incomplete passes. Will Burney couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, Burney, I think, got screened by his blocker there and didn't see the pass. Noah Oswald running right at him for the block, but looked like Burney maybe wasn't able to see over Oswald there.
Hilltoppers racing to get back in place. They will hand it off to Manning. Manning making a few cuts. 20. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Ursuline. They went to their end around, and Manning got it in the end zone.
DeMarcus McElroy makes a block at the last moment, and that's in there. And somewhere in the middle of that second quarter, Matt, the Fighting Irish made an adjustment on the offensive side of the football. And I think maybe all they really needed to do was calm down. They made a few mistakes early. They settled. They have big play capability. And right now, this Hilltopper defense that was so good the first 2 weeks doesn't have an answer on how to stop them.
And now the all-important PAT attempt. Smith had one go off the upright the last time. This time, it is good. So 10:31 to play here in the third. We've got a whole new ball game. It's Chardon 33, Ursuline 20.
Tonight's special cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest for their year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our viewers for their support. Ursuline has really turned this game around, not very often, but once again, as we talked about at length, they're a favorite to possibly win the Division IV state championship. They look like a state championship team right now. They were not daunted being down 33-0 on the road, and they are rebounding. And this was with about 5 minutes left in that half. This is exactly what we talked about the Hilltoppers didn't want to happen. The 2-for-1 opportunity for Ursuline, and it did. It's early in this third quarter, but the way things are going, you just feel like, Matt, the Hilltoppers have to score on this drive.
Now that TD makes it a 2-score game. Kickoff we fielded near the 15 near side, 20-25. Cut 30 and up near the 35-yard line. That's where the Hilltoppers will take over. That time it was Bruce with the return.
Ethan Palowitz got in there and got the stop. Bruce almost turned the Jets on. Found a hole and had a big return, but Palowitz was able to save it.
All right, now the Hilltoppers need a big time-consuming drive to get themselves calmed down. They will hand the ball off. No, it's Pettyjohn trying to get around the end right side. Pettyjohn up near the 40-yard line, still fighting. Pettyjohn picks up the first down across the 45-yard line.
You know, it's week 3, Matt, and I think we've seen some of the best runs from Daniel Pettyjohn of the season today. That was a great one by Pettyjohn. Initially looked like he was only going to gain 3, and he stayed on that sideline, just kept moving those legs and picked up the first down. You're starting to see the development of these young players with more snaps and more weeks out there.
Well, that was one of the big differences between him and his brother was the confidence level, and we're starting to see that now with Daniel Pettyjohn. Toppers going to go back up the middle, pick up a few hard-earned yards there, crossing midfield down to about the 40-yard line.
Sean Carr on the carry, and Sean Carr has been so key today as he picks up 4 yards. We talked about that offensive line for Hilltoppers has done a good job of really handling that big defensive front for Ursuline, and this is what you want to do right now if you're the Hilltoppers. Just take your time, eat that clock. You got 40 seconds, use all 40 of it between every play.
Henry will go under center, 2nd down and 6 from the 49. Man in motion, they hand it off. And this time, getting up near, back to the, about the 46-yard line. It was Perico with the carry.
And on the stop there was John Edmonds. Brings up about a 3rd down and 4 here, Matt. You know, if you want to run clock, you'll take 3 or 4 yards, but you got to pick up the 4 here now. Do not want to give the ball back to Ursuline.
This is a huge, huge play in the course of this game right here. 3rd and 4 from the 46. Perico setting up near side. They fake the handoff. Henry has it across the 40. First down, Hilltoppers. It's been a while since we've seen Henry carry the ball, and he picked up a first down that time.
And that's why that was such a good play call, Matt. You hadn't had Henry call his own number yet, and that was just, that was the play. The play call was the QB run. He gets to the outside, picks up the first down, shows the Fighting Irish a different layer, and the clock keeps moving.
Toppers with a 1st and 10 from the Ursuline 38-yard line. Henry sends Pettyjohn in motion, will hand it off. Sean Carr up the middle. Carr wrapped up at the line, battling for a yard, maybe a yard there. Some tough defense by the Fighting Irish.
Some of the best push the defensive front has gotten for the Fighting Irish today. Tariq Donlow in there, DeMarcus McElroy in there on the stop. So many guys playing both ways on this Fighting Irish team.
Well, for a while, the Hilltoppers were getting that push, but lately they have not been getting it. Pettyjohn in motion. Henry going to look to go around the right side, makes a cut up near the 35-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down and long.
Fighting Irish you can tell they're feeling it right now, Matt. They're feeling the momentum. They're down right now, but the way they're playing like they feel like they're going to win, and they're not giving in on the outside, right? So early in the game, we'd watch them. They'd bite on those play fakes. They'd let that play get open to the outside. Not anymore. Those linebackers strung that play out. Nowhere to go for the Hilltoppers.
3rd and 6 from the 35. Henry from the gun, man in motion. He'll fake the handoff. Henry going straight up the middle. Henry near the 31, short of the first down, and now a late flag comes out.
We'll have to see what they call. There were a couple of holding penalties early that helped bury Ursuline.
Going against Ursuline.
The Fighting Irish just, they get a big stop there and they give it away. And now an opportunity for the Hilltoppers on first down.
I think that was an unsportsmanlike conduct
That was
call.
unsportsmanlike conduct.
Hilltoppers, the beneficiary of another Ursuline penalty, and they've had a couple big ones tonight.
That was the key to building the big lead, right? 2 big holding penalties on a couple of scoring drives for the Hilltoppers, and then 3 takeaways. All 3 takeaways turned into points for the offense on the other end. So capitalizing on Ursuline mistakes has been key for the Hilltoppers tonight.
Henry hands it off. Sean Carr up the middle. Carr on his feet. A flag comes out. Not liking where that flag was thrown. Hilltoppers will advance the ball across the 10, but I think they're coming back.
Yeah, it's holding on the offense there. So you have 5 of those, you give 10 of those penalty yards back that you just got.
That was the one thing you didn't want to do, and unfortunately it happened.
Exactly. You want to capitalize on their mistakes. You don't want to go down there and make one of your own.
Nathaniel Salka entering the game. You know, they have not looked to Salka tonight.
No, they have not thrown that way yet, and
could be just a matter of time.
Will Burney is a good corner, but Salka's got a significant size advantage.
Toppers running the ball right side. They pick up a few yards there. Not much more than that. And, you know, you make a great point. You've got Salka, who is 6'4", 205, up against Burney, a junior, 5'7", 158. That's not quite a foot, but pretty close.
See who they... Well, Salka's not out there. I was going to say, you got to see who they put on him regularly.
2nd and 17. Henry flushing out near side, looking to throw, will dump it off. And they're going to say that was a throw, not a lateral. One of his players went down, slipped. And now it's 3rd down and 17. Boy, this is a...
This is you got the big personal foul penalty. You had an opportunity. You were knocking on the door. And then you commit the holding penalty, and you give those 10 yards back to Ursuline, and Ursuline's really pinned their ears back now. 3rd and 17 is a difficult down and distance, but this is probably 4-down territory. It would be a 40-yard field goal for Tagger if this was the line of scrimmage.
Henry going to run it around the left side, a little bit of running. Now he's going to throw the ball. He's intercepted near the end zone. Alex Henry made the decision to throw the football. And now a late flag. I think they're going to say that he was across the line of scrimmage maybe.
Yeah, I do believe that he was across the line of scrimmage, so that penalty is going to be declined.
He would have had a big play if he had just kept it.
Yeah, that was the penalty, so that penalty gets declined. It's a turnover. You're right, he would have had a big play if he just held on. He's trying to make the big play. He had a positive play there. That's something you'll talk to him about. We talked about it in week 1, Matt, how he's great with the footwork. He's real fast. Some of the passing stuff he's still learning, and that'll be another lesson for him to learn. And they'll talk to him. Look, he had the positive play there. That's all we needed because we were trying to get into field goal range. But, I mean, this is a long field, but...
Now, I can make an argument. He might have been able to pick up that first down with his feet there.
It's close.
Shannon going to hand it off. McElroy left side, beg your pardon, and he picked up a few hard-earned yards before he took a big hit.
Hilltoppers were eventually able to stop McElroy there on the outside, but he is so dangerous. We saw him break off a big run earlier in this game.
Shannon from the gun. Faked it to McElroy, went up the middle, and is brought down. Topper saw that one coming.
Zit, pin your ears back. 3rd down and 4. Get something going. You get the ball back at midfield, get a stop.
They have not stopped Ursuline on the last, I believe it's 3 possessions. Gonna try to run it right side. They get the stop! The topper D comes up huge! Washington, and maybe that was Fegler as well.
Well, you talk about it, just they come up big. That's a huge play. That's a loss of 3 yards. That's exactly what you needed. The past 3 drives, the Fighting Irish kind of looked like they had moved the ball at will. There you make the big play on defense. You get the stop. Now you have an opportunity to get the ball back around midfield and take momentum back. Ursuline's been in control for about a quarter now. Opportunity for the Hilltoppers to take this momentum back here at home.
Huge play by Cooper Felger. They're going to try to go for it, and they may have it across the 20. They do. Down near the 35-yard line on the fake punt.
I was going to say, it takes a lot of courage as a head coach and trust in your players to call a fake punt from the end zone, but that play did not break down. That was a designed fake. Knowing the momentum his team has had, knowing he doesn't want to give the momentum away, they dial up the fake punt from their own end zone, and they get all the way out to the 39-yard line. Huge play for the Fighting Irish.
Keep this in mind again. Mark Manning, the wide receiver who has burned them a number of times tonight, is the punter. He made that big run.
You know, that's why teams would like to have a guy. I mean, they do have a kicker. They have a guy who comes out and kicks field goals and PATs. That's why teams a lot of times like to use one of their athletes and teach them how to punt, because it just gives you the option to do that.
Shannon looking to throw down the field, overthrows everybody. Close. Trey Liebhart nearly had his fingers on it, but just could not haul it in.
Great coverage there by Liebhart on the outside. The ball was overthrown. He had the step. He just couldn't quite get there. Not sure that throw was exactly on the route Jacqueline Irving was trying to run there.
Boy, Liebhart wishes he had another half step. 2nd and 10 now. Brady Shannon from the gun. 2 receivers on each side. Gonna fake the handoff. Some pressure in the backfield. Avoids the pressure. Flushing out near side 40. Spins around and is brought down near the 45. Fetchick in on the stop.
Oh, you were able to get the 3rd down stop last time. You just got to do it again now. Out at midfield.
So 3rd and 3, similar formation, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And DeMarcus McElroy in the backfield along with the QB Brady Shannon. Shannon barking out the call. Will hand it off. McElroy around the end, breaks it 50, 45, down to the 40, 1st down. Young man has some speed.
Yeah, McElroy, we talked about it, 143 yards per game the first 2 weeks. And there, big burst to pick up the 1st down to the outside.
Boy, Hilltoppers nearly caught off guard. They were not in position. Able to get back. Shannon from the gun. Looking. Now going back toward the left side. Ball in the air. It is dropped! Boy, that could have been an easy touchdown for Brennan Ruford, the senior wide receiver.
Yeah, Columby made the aggressive play. He's had a couple of big plays defensively this season. He made the aggressive play for the interception, left the wide receiver wide open, and the receiver just couldn't hold on. Would have been a touchdown.
Toppers catch a break there. 2nd and 10 now from the 44. Still 2:43 to go here in the 3rd. Chardon clinging to a 13-point lead. Handoff McElroy stopped in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Too much Hilltoppers that time. They really dialed up the pressure.
And it looked too like McElroy and Shannon had an issue with the handoff as well.
Yep. I think McDonald got back there. From the defensive end position, McDonald, such an important part what the Hilltoppers want to do on both sides of the ball.
3rd down and 11. Now Manning going in motion. Lining up on the right side, they're going to throw the bubble screen. And the Hilltoppers trying to get a stop, making his way out across the 46, down near the 47 was Boyd. Going to bring it 4th down.
Wouldn't be surprised if they go for it here. barely 4-down territory, but with the momentum that the Fighting Irish have had and the fact that they were willing to take that fake punt out of their own end zone, yeah, they're going for it here.
4th and 7 from the Topper 41. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left. Shannon, empty backfield. Check the 4 receivers right side. Looking, going to throw over the middle. Ball's caught. McElroy, first down, 30 to the 25, 20. 10, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Ursuline.
Well, that's just a great decision there by Brady Shannon, right? He saw where the rush was coming. The rush was coming at him from his left. He knew that he had DeMarcus McElroy out there, but there's a flag on the field, Matt, all the way back at the 24-yard line. So this is coming back. I think they probably pick up the first down where the flag is, so they're still on the field, but the touchdown is held off. I still want to say, a good decision there by Brady Shannon. And that's part of what he's done. When he does those deep drops, he sees where the rush is coming from. He chooses which side of the field where he wants to go to an option. And then because the rush is coming from that side of the field, that guy's wide open. And it looks like a little bubble screen, but it's 7, 8, 9 yards. And, yeah, that does move the chains. It is a first down. But for the moment, the touchdown is taken off.
First down and 10 from the 34 for the Fighting Irish as they continue to move the ball down the field. Boy, you don't see that too often. The running back runs into one of his men. Hilltoppers able to get the stop, as that time it was Alex Keisley in the backfield to make the tackle.
Yeah, there's obviously some kind of miscommunication there on the play, as Manning ran right into McElroy. 2nd and 14. Shannon dropping back to pass, looking right side. Ball up in the air, over the head of the outstretched arms of Jacqueline Irving. Will bring up 3rd down and long. Give Irving credit. He got up there reaching for that one. Couldn't quite get it.
Now timeout on the field. Injury timeout. There's a Topper down. We'll pause and take a timeout here on GTV. The injured Hilltopper being helped off the field is Brody Dotson. And Dotson able to walk off, but he's being kept upright, if you will. Certainly hope everything is okay with Brody. Boy, that is a big blow to the Hilltopper defense. He is a key linebacker for Chardon.
Absolutely. Big part of that defensive unit.
They're looking at his right shoulder. That is not good. Shannon, a lot of time, feeling some pressure, stepping up in the pocket. Ball is up for grabs. It's caught for the big first down. They went to the big man, Dean Boyd. It was a jump ball, and he came down with it. Boyd 6'4", and Liebhardt is 6'0", and Liebhardt just couldn't come down with it or break up that pass.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. They made the decision. Liebhardt is a good cover receiver.
McElroy gets the handoff and stuffed at the 5.
But yeah, we talked about that. Just go for the jump balls. I mean, Liebhardt did a great job. Liebhardt had perfect coverage down there. But there's nothing he could do. Boyd was just too tall for him. And you throw up a jump ball, and Boyd comes down with it. That's one of the decisions that Ursuline made that's kind of gotten their offense jump-started here.
2nd and goal from the 6. Boyd, 2 receivers right, to the left. McElroy to his right. Now he'll move over to the left side. Clock winding down, and who took the timeout? Toppers did.
Hilltopper's going to use a timeout, try to figure out what they want to do here. Next football game is versus Riverside, Friday, at home. Kickoff 7 p.m. This is the first of several Western Reserve Conference contests, of course, before the first weekend of October, when everyone travels down to New Philadelphia. But yeah, that starting Western Reserve Conference play next week here at home with Riverside.
Always a fun and intensive rivalry. No one knows the Hilltoppers better than Dave Boers. And going to be interesting to see what he's got against this Hilltopper squad, who right now is clinging to a 13-point lead with 20 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. And Ursuline facing a 2nd down and goal from the 6. A lot of options. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the QB Brady Shannon taking it himself the way he's been running the football.
And the Hilltoppers wanted to make sure they talked about it. They've done such a good job in this third quarter. Since that opening touchdown, they've been able to maintain that 2-score lead. You don't want to give up this touchdown.
They're going to give it to McElroy, spinning around in the end zone, and touchdown Ursuline. Looked like they might have had him bottled up, but he got out of it. And with 13 seconds left to go, Ursuline is making this a one-score game.
Yeah, all the way back from down 33-0 for the Fighting Irish. And, Matt, that time, the Hilltopper defense, they really did clamp down. That was a longer drive. There weren't a whole lot of big plays in there for Ursuline. But at the end of the day, the Fighting Irish still able to find the end zone as Ursuline, they've taken control of this game.
Reagan Smith out to attempt this point after. Good snap. Kick is down and is underway. And it is good. So with 13 seconds left to play, Ursuline now trails by 6, 33-27.
If you'd like to advertise on the new scoreboard, call the CHS Athletic Office at 286-0414, and they'll put you in touch with representatives of the Gridiron Club for details.
Wow. Folks, it was a 33-0 Chardon lead with 7:09 to go before halftime. And since then, 27 unanswered by Ursuline. I can make an argument that maybe Chardon should have scored twice in that span, Ryan, but alas, they did not.
I mean, so, the bottom line is, as you watch this game, Ursuline has scored on their last 4 drives. So if you're Chardon, at this point, fourth quarter, every time you have the football, you need to score. They have to score on this drive.
You got to match them score for this point. And, Hilltopper defense, we did not see them much that first quarter and a half. But they have been on the field an awful lot the last quarter and a half, I should say.
Right, one of the keys this week, like in each of the first 2 weeks, was control time of possession. Hilltoppers have not done that since about the middle of the second quarter.
35-40, and that is where the Hilltoppers will take over. Another nice return by A.J. Bruce.
Bruce has done a good job in the return game today. Absolutely, and that is a nice return. You see why you saw a couple of those short kicks by the Fighting Irish early, wanting to avoid those big plays by Bruce.
No, they may just have not realized that Bruce had that kind of speed or where he was on the field. But I'm guessing everyone will after that.
Yes.
Henry and company come out 1st and 10 from the 44. They give it to Carr up the middle, and Carr bruising his way near the 48.
Able to battle his way forward for 4 yards. One of the big changes in this game defensively, we have a Hilltopper getting stretched out, but one of the big changes defensively for Ursuline is they've gone from giving up 5 or 6 runs a carry to 3 or 4.
Folks, with that, we have played 3 quarters, and the Toppers lead 33-27. We'll take a timeout and come back with third quarter action here on GTV. "12 minutes to go in what has turned into a dandy of a game." Folks, it was 33-0, and it looked like, ho-hum, Chardon's just going to crush Ursuline. Not to be, though. Fighting Irish came back 27 unanswered points, and right now Chardon, who's working their way left to right across your TV screen, looking to start eating up some clock here. Trey Bleehart back in the game. Toppers will run the football left side. That's Henry, and Henry lowers his shoulders and gets across midfield up near the 48-yard line.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 2. So this is a nice 3rd down situation. You just got to keep moving those chains. Burn the clock, move those chains, keep that Ursuline offense off the field. Big part of how the Hilltoppers got out that big lead is they kept that Ursuline offense off the field. Once that Ursuline offense got on the field, Matt, we've seen why a lot of people have them picked to win a state championship.
Chardon going to push the pile forward, and it looks like they got the first down. They did at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that should be enough to move the chains where they've spotted it, and they are moving them. So that's good for the Hilltoppers.
Well, nice to have a new set of downs.
Just keep it moving, keep the clock moving. You do have to score on this drive, though.
Well, they put up 42 last week in a win against Bookdale. 33 in the first half here, but have been shut out so far since the 7:09 mark of the second quarter. Henry trying to get around the right side, cuts it back up north and gains maybe a yard or two before he's brought down by a slew of Fighting Irish.
Good work there by Ursuline, and like I was mentioning earlier, they've really done a good job of bottling up those runs. The Hilltoppers were going for 5 or 6 yards on everything. Henry there, 2-yard run.
Worth mentioning Daniel Pettyjohn back in the game. He was the Hilltopper that had the cramp issue there right as the third quarter ended. So he has been stretched out, given some liquids, and he is back in the contest. Soren Vujiklia split end left side. They will hand it off. Sean Carr, running room, makes a nice cut right side 30. Sean Carr, 25, down to the 20. Hold on to that football, Sean, down to the 15. A huge run for the senior.
And there you go, your senior leadership there. You need a big play, you give the ball to Sean Carr, and I mean, he juked left, he juked right. He made about 3 changes in direction there, and giving a much-needed boost of energy to the Hilltoppers here in this fourth quarter. Lean on your seniors. When you get into times like this, you're facing this kind of versatility, find a guy like Sean Carr and let him kind of rally the rest of the team around him.
Boy, he made me nervous the way he was moving the football from arm to arm, but he held on to it. 1st and 10 now from the 15. Henry kept it himself left side, snuffed out as the big man, Levi Grimes, brought him down. When you're 336, it's pretty easy to tackle a guy who's 195.
Yeah, Grimes got in there, able to make the stop. Had some help in there from Casey Leagers as well. Loss of a yard, so I mean that's one of the things. You know, Alex Henry is the big playmaker on this offense, and if you could bottle him up like Ursuline has been able to, it really makes things difficult on the Chardon offense.
Well, a guy like Grimes, again, 6'2", 336. Coach Reardon actually said he wanted him to get smaller and get quicker. It'd be crazy to see how he would play if he did that. Handoff up the middle for a few yards out near the 10-yard line. Now a late flag. And this is not a smart play by Chardon. And they have had issues inside the red zone here lately with just bad penalties.
That's a 15-yarder. That's a personal foul. You're away from a play. The play was over. Not, honestly, man, not the type of penalty you see Hilltoppers make very often.
No. We'll move the ball all the way back to the 21-yard line. And if you're going to beat a team like Ursuline, you cannot make these mistakes.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just going to say this here.
I was going to say they only marked 10. They needed to mark 15.
Yeah. Nathaniel Salka has re-entered the game. He has no looks tonight. Now might be the time, especially if he's going up against Will Burney.
If you're at 3rd and 3, now you're at 3rd and 17.
3rd and 7, why not throw it up for Salk? Instead, it's a bubble screen, makes a catch 20, and not much more after that. You know, I would let him run down further and just throw it up and see if he can come down with it.
Well, you were in 4-down territory, so if you were the Hilltoppers, you were taking a safe one there, see how many of these yards you could get back to make it more interesting, and just good work by Ursuline, so you're still facing a 4th down and 16 now.
It'll be a 39-yard field goal attempt if they were to choose that route.
Oh, they're going to take a timeout to decide.
No, I don't think you're going to take a timeout to kick a field goal here, Ryan. If you're going to do this, you're looking to...
They're going to have to use one. They don't have.
Well, no,
anything
I'm about to say
going.
I think you're calling a play. I think you're going for it. There's no way if you're going to calling a timeout, you're not going to call a timeout to bring the field goal unit on the team or on the field. Toppers call a timeout. They will have one left after this.
Yeah, it was. So now you've got yourself down to one timeout. So if you get yourself into a situation where you're trying to come back, that's going to be something you have to look back at later.
Folks, Toppers taking a timeout, and so will we right here on GTV. A big fourth down play for the Hilltoppers, and boy, was I wrong. They are going for the field goal despite all the issues they have had this year with the kicking game.
This is lining up to be a 39-yarder for Nathan Tagger. We know Tagger has the leg for it.
Good snap. Kick is underway. It has the distance. It is good!
That is a huge kick for Nathan Tagger, Matt. Huge.
With 7:28 to go. Nathan Tagger, the 39-yard field goal, and Hilltoppers now up by 9, 36-27.
Put it right through the uprights underneath that new LED scoreboard, which is made by Daktronics. Consumes, Matt, less than 20% of the power the old Topper board did with that old light bulb technology. So that is a big-time energy saver up there for the Hilltoppers. And, of course, brand new field turf as well with real sharp-looking black end zones down there. And, you can see the soccer lines out here. The other lines are much easier to see now as well on this new turf.
Yeah, you got lacrosse lines?
Lacrosse and soccer lines as well out there. And it's different lines for men's and women's lacrosse. So all in all, you have.
I didn't know that.
You have You have lines for 4 sports all in all, out there on this field.
Well, that field goal snapped a 27-0 run for Ursuline.
And that's huge because it makes it a 2-score game. 7:28 left. Fighting Irish have 3 timeouts there. Big play offense, but you got points. You had to score on that drive, and you did. That was a big-time kick by Tagger from 39 yards out.
Kick goes in the end zone, and that's where the Hilltoppers will watch Ursuline take over from the 20.
And he follows it up with a touchback, so that was 2 big kicks back-to-back for Tagger. That was another one of the keys. The Fighting Irish have been returning the ball a lot. In the first quarter, every kick, Tagger ended up in the end zone for a touchback. So the Fighting Irish were always starting at their 20, and now they're starting deep again.
Of course, Tagger made the game-winning kick in the state championship. They will hand it off. Another end-around play. No, they're going to throw it! And it is incomplete. Oh, Will Burney. I thought he was going on the end around. Instead, he chucks the throw down the right sideline. But, boy, that was a fastball pass to everybody. There was an inadvertent flag thrown. Official picked it up and waved it off. I think it just came out of his belt.
Yeah, Bernie made the throw, but there were 3 Hilltoppers down there around Mark Manning. So that play did not develop for the Fighting Irish.
Well, you hear the fans. The cowbells are ringing here with 7:22 to go. Shannon looking to throw right side. Has Irving out of bounds near the... No, stayed inbounds. Picked up the first down and then fought for more yardage out near the 32-yard line.
Irving got himself open there underneath some zone coverage, able to make the catch, enough for a first down to move the chain.
Brady Shannon has 3 receivers to the right, 1 left. McElroy in the backfield. Feeling some pressure. Flushing out right side, looking over the middle of the field. Ball is dropped! He had an open receiver, but Rutherford could not hang on to it.
I mean, Rutherford did a great job to get back into that play for his quarterback. His quarterback got flushed out of coverage, and Rutherford came all the way back and was able to get open, but he couldn't come down with the catch.
Twins to the left, 3 receivers to the right. Nobody in the backfield but Shannon. From the gun, looking. And he bounced it. It's a lateral. And they overthrow. Holy cow, they overthrow DeMarcus McElroy. So it was a lateral.
McElroy was wide open.
The Toppers thought the ball was incomplete, but because he threw it backwards, it was not an incomplete pass.
The Fighting Irish have put 2 of their trick plays in their playbook on film here and have nothing to show for it. Huge third down for the Hilltoppers.
And they got a lucky bounce, too. 3rd and 10 now from the 33. Again, Twins left, 2 receivers to the right. Shannon stepping up the pocket. He's brought down. Cooper Felger in on the stop. And his teammate, I think that's Heath Fetchick. It is, the linebacker, in there as well.
Yeah, great work there by Fetchick and Felger. They get in there. They make a huge stop.
4th down and 13, and we have another injury timeout. Mark Manning, the star wide receiver for the Irish, is on the ground, being attended to by the training staff. So with that, we will take a timeout here at 6:32 to play. It's Chardon 36 and Ursuline 27. The offense, folks, is coming back out in the field, and they kind of have no choice, Ryan, because that was their punter who they just took off.
And they're down 2 scores, 6.5 minutes left. It's a tough one, 4th and 13 from their own 30.
Shannon dropping back the pass, looking to throw down the field toward the right sideline. It is caught, a huge conversion. Oh my, Jacqueline Irving with the catch. He had a little bit difficult time making it. No, they're going to say incomplete.
Must have been.
I thought he caught it.
He must have dropped it. So the Hilltopper defense, what a great stop. After really there was a 4-drive stretch there where the Fighting Irish really were able to dial up anything they wanted. That Hilltopper defense got back into lockdown mode, got a big stop, and now a chance for the Hilltoppers to put this game on ice.
Well, a touchdown here would be absolutely huge, and they know it. Henry looking to go around the left side. Henry running room, on his feet, 20, down to the 15.
You were just waiting for it, Matt. You knew eventually momentum would swing back to the Hilltoppers, and it has at the perfect time. It started on that touchdown drive, or on that long drive that ended in the field goal, and really I think the 39-yard field goal was the biggest momentum swing in this game. But this is coming back on a holding.
Yep, another holding penalty. Devastating, boy.
And this Hilltopper team, Matt, in the first 2 weeks didn't really have all that many penalties down there on the field, but there have been a lot here in this second half.
Instead of the ball being on the 15-yard line, it's now on the 41.
It's a big break for the Fighting Irish.
1st down and 21 now for Chardon. And Hilltoppers, you go back to that last play, that 4th down play, they caught a huge break. I'm not sure if Irving was out of bounds or what happened. The fans around us were looking like, what happened? They all thought he caught it too. But
one of those things you just don't complain about, man.
No, you don't. Henry trying to go around the right side. A little bit of running room. Nearly got off a nice run, but was brought down from behind by Tyreek Donlow.
Sean Carr did a good job to open that one up, and the Fighting Irish don't want to let the Hilltoppers run out the clock, so they take a timeout here, and that's a good thing for the Hilltoppers, getting that quick 4 and out and getting the ball back. You're going to force the Fighting Irish now to use their timeouts to keep you from running the game out on them.
Well, since the Irish took a timeout, we'll pause here on GTV as well. Welcome back, everyone. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Will be 2nd down and 15 for the Hilltoppers. Chardon has played anything but a clean game this last quarter and a half, if you will. And now another flag comes out.
Yeah, it's going to be against the Hilltoppers. That's an illegal procedure.
Question is, were they drawn off?
Offsides. Look at that. So they did draw Ursuline offsides.
Yeah, one of their big men up front did get into the neutral zone.
Second time today, it was Tyreek Donlow.
Yeah, it was Donlow who, matter of fact, just made that stop on Henry.
Well, that was kind of the thing before the game is, we heard, Donlow's got a lot of potential, but he's a sophomore. He's still learning, and I think we've seen both sides of that coin here in this game today from Donlow.
Absolutely phenomenal athlete, but he just needs more experience. Nothing you can say about that. It'll come in time. 2nd and 10 now from the 30. They fake to Carr. Henry up the middle, lost it, and Ursuline looks like they have picked up the football, and they did. It was no, it was not Donlow that time. Lorenzo Rohrbaugh picks it up.
Now that was, you had the opportunity, Matt, to put the game on ice. You got the big turnover on 4 downs. You get the ball back in their territory at the 30-yard line. And we were talking about it seemed like momentum was going back Chardon's way. But nothing is more of a momentum killer than a big penalty. And that 10-yard penalty definitely turned the feeling back around for Ursuline. They're still down by 2 scores. They got 2 timeouts left, and we know they have big play potential down the field.
This Ursuline team can score in less than a minute. Matter of fact, they can score in 1 play. Topper fans making some noise. Shannon from the gun, flushing out to the right side, looking to throw toward the sideline, bobbled. And officials will rule it a complete pass. Yes, they do.
Pick up a 5, you get it to the sideline. Good offense there, exactly what you need to do to march down this field.
Back in the hurry-up offense. Shannon sends 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Dropping back, looking, going right side again, has a receiver open across the 40 for the first down near the 45-yard line.
Good work there on that sideline to find a soft spot in the zone between the linebackers and the secondary. Making the catch was Irving.
Throwing the ball, it's intercepted. Hilltoppers with the pick. Down, racing to the 30-yard line. That's Trey Liebhart.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Liebhart got himself to the perfect spot on the field, and Brady Shannon threw the ball right to him. There's a late flag coming in. The interception is going to stand. This is well after the interception. It's going to be Chardon football. It's a matter of what the penalty after the fact was. But that was just a huge play by Trey Liebhart. And Brady Shannon was trying to get the ball to Jacqueline Irving again, but he just threw the ball right at Liebhart. Liebhart had the presence of mind to make the catch.
Shannon came in with no interceptions. He's thrown 2 tonight, assuming this play stands.
It was definitely well after the interception, but the Hilltoppers, I think they've run themselves into...
I frankly don't know what the penalty
They've
was.
run themselves, it's 15 yards. So it was late after the play. I'm going to imagine they might have run themselves into an unsportsmanlike. I don't know if
it's got to be an unsportsmanlike.
I don't know if an official heard something said he didn't like after the play. I know that Coach Hewitt not happy with the decision by the officials to make that call.
No, regardless, Toppers have the ball back, 1st and 10 from the 43. Sean Carr moving ahead down to the 39-yard line. And if Chardon just does that the rest of this drive, they'll be okay.
Yeah, at some point in time, you're going to force the Fighting Irish to use their last 2 timeouts to stop the clock, and you'll be in good shape. You'll be up by the 2 scores here.
Ursuline needed everybody to play in that first game all 4 quarters. Chardon the same way. In week 2, neither starters went 4 quarters. So these guys are rested for this game. Again, not as hot as it was last week as well. Henry from under center. Perico in motion. They fake it to him. And up the middle, And, well, that a number of flags coming on the field. Ursuline claims they have it on a fumble recovery.
With Sean Carr on the carry. Carr lost the football. I don't see a marker that was thrown out where an official would have said it was a fumble.
Down the far side of the field.
Is it all the way over there? All right.
Personal foul against Ursuline. The question is, will this waive off the penalty?
Oh, if it's a personal foul, the fumble is going to stand, and you're going to have to send your defense out there if you're the Hilltoppers.
And indeed they are. I guess the question was, when did the personal foul occur? Because technically it happened before, but the Chardon defense is back out on the field.
Both these teams are getting turnovers, and both these teams are hurting themselves by following it up with these personal foul and sportsmanlike penalties. So we've reset a lot, Matt, but we're resetting back to the Hilltopper defense now.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 16. A lot of time to throw. Looking right side, it is caught near the 20 by Irving, putting some moves on, and Irving, now a late flag comes out near the 30-yard line. Should be a first down if the play stands. I've been saying that a lot this quarter.
I see it's going to be a face masking call. It's going to go against the Hilltoppers, so you're going to tack yardage on to the end of that play. Last thing you want to do if you're the Hilltoppers. So you tack 15 yards onto the end of that. So it's not even the fact there's been a lot of penalties, Matt, a lot of 15-yard penalties. And again, you don't see that from Chardon very often.
Shannon going to throw near side, is caught, and quickly the tackle made by Bruce. Dean Boyd with the catch. We'll keep the clock running.
Yeah, Bruce is giving up a lot of size, not only height-wise, but Bruce gives up about 40 pounds, and he just wrapped up Dean Boyd, was not going to let him go.
Shannon now running right side, has some room, and he's out near the 45-yard line. Boy, Brady Shannon doing it with his feet now.
Big moment for the Hilltopper D. You're going to need to get 3rd and 4th down here.
3rd down and 2. Shannon throwing it out left side, has Manning. Manning goes out of bounds. Not sure where the ball will be spotted. They're going to say bring out the chains, I believe.
They've got an official timeout because Manning is
Manning down?
Down on the field here at the 45-yard line. I think it was enough to move the chains. He got to his spot.
He's had some cramping issues tonight.
Of course, they already stretched him out earlier.
He's a guy who just really doesn't leave the field of play.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you get in a game like this. Both these teams have guys that go both ways, and we've seen a lot of cramping late. That's a lot of time to be out there without getting a rest.
Situation is this, 3:43 to play. Hilltoppers up 36-27. Not a bad injury timeout right now for Ursuline, if you will. Gives them a chance to catch their breath and to kind of plan some things out. They have been using that no-huddle offense very effectively.
They have, and it started in the second quarter, maybe out of necessity. They were already down 5 scores, but they found something in that no-huddle offense. I think it's kind of helped them to keep the Hilltopper defense off balance a little bit throughout the second half of this game, and they've really moved the football well out of it.
It has been a hard-hitting, sloppy fourth quarter. And at this point in time, I'm counting 7 total turnovers in the game. 4 for Ursuline, 3 for Chardon.
And no one has a count on penalties of 10 or more yards, but both teams have those stacked up as well.
So Brady Shannon brings his troops back out onto the field. It's 1st and 10 now from the Topper 45. Shannon has some time. Feeling some pressure now, being flushed out. Fetchick! No, he stayed up! Fetchick and McDonald, he nearly got him. He's able to escape out near the 44-yard line. I don't know how he managed to get out of that one.
He is an incredible athlete. He had 2 pass rushers back there. They both got hands on him, and he managed to bounce his way. And from up here, it did look like he managed to keep his knee off the turf.
2nd and 9 from the 44. Shannon dropping back the pass, looking left side, has a man open. They're going to lateral it. The old hook and ladder play. And going out of bounds is Will Burney.
I'll tell you what, the Fighting Irish are pulling out all the stops. I mean, they've worked so hard to get back in this game. They're willing to run any play to keep things going, and there the hook and ladder works for a first down.
From the 27, 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That is Boyd. Shannon stepping up in the pocket, being flushed out. And he's down. He's tripped up. Heath Fetchick got him out near the 42. That's a huge loss.
Well, he was able to Houdini his way away from Fetchick once. Fetchick did not let him Houdini away that time. Big sack for Fetchick. And that's a huge loss, Matt, that's a loss of about 15. And the Fighting Irish are going to have to use their timeouts. 2:43 left in this game.
They do. So with that, we'll take a timeout here. Hilltoppers up 36-27 with less than 3 minutes to go in this one. Welcome back, everyone. Chardon Memorial. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. The initial game on the new turf. And boy, oh boy, it has lived up to the hype.
It has. You have the defending state champs against one of the best teams this year in Division 4. It's been a fun one.
Brady Shannon has some time again looking to throw. He has a man that's caught. It's Jacqueline Irving out near the 30-yard line. So they will pick up most of those 15 yards lost. Or 16 yards lost, beg your pardon. We'll bring up 3rd down and long still. Shannon now feeling some pressure, stepping back, going out to his right, redirecting some traffic, puts the ball up in the air toward the end zone. It's intercepted! The Toppers pick off the ball! And Chardon stops another drive! Leo Colombi again, 2 weeks in a row with the INT.
You know, he made a play for an INT earlier in the game that he didn't come up with. That time he comes up with it. It's a huge play. And Matt, you know, as tough as a stretch of the middle of that game was for the Hilltopper defense, here in the 4th quarter, when they were needed, they stepped up, got themselves back into the game, and made big play after big play. You think about the 4-and-out they caused. They have a fumble recovery in this 4th quarter, an interception in this, 2 interceptions in this 4th quarter. They've gotten themselves back into this game, and it's been a great 4th quarter for the Hilltopper defense. When they were needed the most, they stepped up.
Shannon entered this game 25 of 45, no picks. He's thrown 3 tonight. Topper's just going to run the football a little bit. And a quick timeout call, the last timeout by Ursuline. That stops the clock with 2:03 left to go. Will be 2nd down and 10 when we return here from Chardon Memorial. Hilltoppers offense comes back out on the field. Clock stopped at 2:03 here. They have a 2nd down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Looking to put this game away if they can get a couple first downs. Ursuline now no timeouts left. Chardon will hand the ball off. Little bit of running room up near the 33-yard line. And that time it was Trey Liebhart who gets the call.
A first down will end this game essentially, Matt. That's what the Hilltoppers need to get. Pick up those 2 yards on 3rd down and wrap it up.
Now Toppers trying to get the initial win on this brand new field. Doug Snyder went through the walkthrough with the construction company, or the field turf company, on Thursday afternoon, was given the green light. The Hilltoppers did not step foot on this field until today at 4. And they're going to have some good memories on this field, and it's going to start if they can get a first down with a win tonight. Henry going to push the pile forward, and this will be close.
The official on the near side's got him at a first down. The official on the far side does not right now.
No, the referee signals first down, so that will likely do it. And the home team, after being up 33-0, gave up 27 unanswered. But Chardon is poised to go away winners tonight.
Like I said, the defense made huge plays in this fourth quarter.
And folks, I mean, what a night it's been. You have the brand new scoreboard, just phenomenal with the LED action on it. The new field turf looks great. I love the, I guess I'd call it the dual color. And probably the happiest man here tonight, though, Doug Snyder. And again, folks, want to give Doug all the credit in the world. He did so much rescheduling when word got out that the turf would not be ready for the first game. Not only did he have to reschedule football, but soccer as well. A lot of other schools pitched in, and Chardon, as the time is about to run off the clock, winners tonight, 36-27, I beg your pardon there. A huge win against the program that they will likely be able to get a lot of computer points from as the season progresses.
Absolutely. Huge win for the Hilltoppers. This is a really good team that came in here, a team that fought back, a team that really put Chardon up against the wall, and the Hilltoppers were able to come away with the victory.
With that, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to send it down to the field for words from Coach Mitch Hewitt.
What a way! What a way to welcome in the new turf! Coaches, hey guys, there is no way you could have predicted that that's what was going to happen in that game. I mean, all the turnovers, all the bad ones. Those guys fought every single play till the end of the game, and so did we. And the scoreboard doesn't lie, fellas. The scoreboard doesn't lie. Great, great, great win. That number 5 is, wow. Keeps you awake at night. Great job. Guys, I always like defense. I always like when we win and we get a lot of opportunities to learn and get better, right? Because that's what we're going to see tomorrow. A lot of opportunities to learn and get better. But 5 takeaways. How about that Chardon Hilltopper defense?
When we came out in the second half, what I said, we talked about brotherhood. We talked about you guys playing for each other, how long you've all played together, right? I talked about 2015 A-Division championships. Not a team that's only been together for 4 years. We talked about brotherhood. We saw brotherhood tonight come together at the end of the game when it mattered most to get that W.
Fellas, here's the deal, right? The curse of winning a state title is you got Glenville week 1, then you go to Bookdale, right? And you go play a team that could very easily win a state title, right? But there's something about that, right? I told you Wednesday, I got to be more of a believer in what we are. Tonight, you made me a believer, fellas. That was a gutty performance against a really good football team. But the best part is that we got to do it on our field with our student body, with our cheerleaders, and a whole bunch of fans. If there's a bunch of kids that shouldn't take things for granted, it's this generation, fellas. Don't take this for granted. It's a special place, but we got a lot more work to do. We got to get a lot better. But boy, oh boy, was that a big one. That was a big one. Okay, so we're going to celebrate this, enjoy this. We're going to make good decisions, right? What you do in the dark comes out in the light, right? But also, we need to enjoy it. And then, guess who we have next week? But the last thing I said, when we talked about pregame, right? When we came down the hill, and I know sometimes as young kids, you don't think about all this stuff, but when you see all these little future Hilltoppers, and all they want to do is shake your hand, man, there's something special about it, right? There's something special. So enjoy the night with your friends and family. Let's get better tomorrow.
Welcome back, everyone. Natural Rescue Ryan Racky with you as we wrap this one up. Ryan, what a night for the Chardon community.
Yeah, it's a huge night. You get off to the big lead early, you make all kinds of plays, and then you get nervous there in the middle. Things aren't going your way. It was a really tough quarter and a half of football, but you got yourself back going in the fourth quarter. Big plays defensively. But Matt, honestly, no play was bigger tonight than Nathan Taggart's 39-yard field goal. Took the momentum away, ended the 27 straight points by Ursuline, made it a 2-score game, put a ton of pressure back on the Fighting Irish, and gave all that momentum back to Chardon. I really think that 39-yard field goal by Nathan Taggart, the biggest play of this game tonight.
Well, he is clutch, and they've had a lot of issues with the kicking game this year, including another problem with the PAT tonight, but when they needed him to step up, the young man did that. He connected on the game, well, not the game winner, but a huge field goal that really gave a 2-point differential in this one.
I mean, in a lot of ways, it feels like a game winner, right? Like the whole game was different after he hit that field goal. Everything was different after that.
Need to thank our cameraman tonight, Chris Draw and Brian Foster. Brett keeping us back up on the air, back in mission control. For my partner tonight, Ryan Radke, I am Matt Jaworski. On behalf of all the rest, we wish you all the best.